हैरान हूं मैं। इस जंगल में, इस दूर दराज जजीरे पर, मेरे इस खैमे की तन्हाई में कौन बसा गया है आपको?
हीरे तो महंगा सी प्यार मेरा, हीरे तो महंगा सी प्यार मेरा, चांदी दे पिछे भज भज के तू गवा लिया प्यार मेरा, लोकां दे पिछे लग लग के तू गवा लिया प्यार मेरा, हीरे तो महंगा सी प्यार मेरा, हीरे तो महंगा सी प्यार मेरा।
हेलो हेलो गाइस, वेलकम बैक। लाइट की पानी की भाई दिमाग खराब हो गया मेरा। मैं जब जब कहीं जाता हूँ भाई लाइट की अम्मा बहन हो जाती है। आ जाओ गाइस, आ जाओ, तुमको दिखाते हैं। अब हम
circle shift here, touch that red line, and you, my friend, are going to be in trouble. So look at what we have in terms of like just an angle of approach. We're effectively cutting out half the circle. So we're limiting teams. There's no wide rotates in and around the back of the circle. Look to see a lot of camp setups on the eastern side of Songham, on the southeastern side of Kanyong, because we really know everyone is trying to come in from that direction.
Yeah, I'm also really kind of keeping my eyes on Petrichord and seeing, because they are looting Buksan Sa, if they are going to set up anything on that west side, because effectively 60%, I would say, of this circle is only playable. Actually,
it's less.
It's probably less.
It's honestly, I mean, when look at where the red lines meet.
And as you said,
it is under half the map you can rotate through.
Yeah, and as you said, the rotations really are where the teams are going to suffer. Forget the amount of playable area that they're going to have to deal with. The rotations themselves are going to be hell for these teams that are not inside the circle, and the majority of them are not.
And when you do the math, like if we were to draw green lines, red lines on this map of what's approachable, you don't want to be rotating straight through Kanyong when you're coming from the northern side, because you don't know what's happening there. So that's a red mark. You don't want to rotate through Buksan Sa, that's a red mark. You don't want to come in through Songham, that's dangerous. So if you look at what's not that, and what's not southeast of the actual red marks we have on our map, you are limited to about 10, maybe 20 degrees of this 360 circle.
And wisely, some of these teams that are close to that circle edge are already rotating in. You see that with FaZe, you see that with T1, you see that with Luna Galaxy. But if you're a team like E-Arena, if you're a team like KDF, Falcons, Na'Vi even, do you go for the time old strat of just waiting, taking your time, rotating in late, because there may not be room to rotate in late, or you just hope and you pray that you find an emergency pickup?
I was going to say PUBG gave you half.
But you have to find them, that's the problem.
And then that's the issue, exactly. I think that's the answer to your question. If you get one, you're happy. If you don't, well, sucks for you, I suppose. Good luck rotating, my friends. Because even Circle Center, Ouyang is obviously going to be much more crammed up with players now than what we're used to seeing. But the area in and around there are so many open fields. And all the hills leading up to Buksan Sa, looking down towards Studio, are incredibly open. So you can't really utilize that at all either. Look already now how cramped these positions are.
My goodness.
Virtus Pro sat right next to each other, potentially looking to fight for this one.
Oh, VP versus Pero.
Virtus Pro, TSM, and now, why not? All gamers local, just come on in.
Keep flying, boys. Keep flying. Are they?
Flying.
I love this shot. I love this.
There's
a battle going on.
You think there's a tour guide on that plate? And if you look right below you, you'll see a 3-team sandwich or jam, potentially.
Death.
But Ming,
see now Ming
experience bolta bhai.
And Summer, I mean, they know something is up here.
They're all in. They're all in at this point. They both know that they have each other here.
But again, this leads into what I was saying earlier. There's really not that much space. But even if this circle wasn't this cut out, there aren't that many compounds. This is a very open map.
The only upside to what's happening here is they can take this fight somewhat separate from everyone else. TSM is on the other side, but I don't imagine them wanting to full-on pull up on what we're seeing here. But you're already seeing Purdy look in this direction. Shots have been fired. Info has been fed across. that there's a battle about to happen right here.
They may not pull up, but I tell you this, they will clean up if the opportunity is there.
Definitely. They have plenty of space to maneuver on the northern side of Ouyang.
बगल में TSM भी wait कर रही है भाई. Last में बहुत sexy खेले थे वो लोग.
About Petrichor Face having fought for Puksansa in days past, previous tournaments. TSM was usually the cleanup crew to come in and join in that party, so it would be
I'm glad
in no way
repeats
crazy.
itself.
Yeah, exactly. Would in no way be crazy should this happen. The only difference is, I guess we're swapping Puksansa for another place, and we're swapping Face for VP.
And the real question here is how comfortable are VP and Petrichor specifically going to be with being that close in proximity to each other? TSM, like you said, they don't have to do anything. They can just wait for the fight to pop off and come in and try to third party. But Petrichor and VP need to make a decision. Is it worth just kind of laying low and just waiting, or do we try to find the opening? And it looks like Petrichor will look for the opening as they're going to find Ibiza for the first knock.
This is a solid read by them too. They heard the vehicle pull up on the building or on the rock outside, but they weren't fully sure if this is exactly where it was positioned. And I think honestly, as we see here, this is part of the reason why VP stuck around. They wanted to bring EB back, but his approach to the compound had him separated from the rest of his teammates. They wanted to try and see if they could somehow bring him back to the rest of the roster. Now he falls. That's effectively in this situation kind of the anchor lifted again. Well, the anchor chain cut off, and they can now make a run for compounds further towards the north. They never wanted to be in that situation to begin with, VP. Unfortunately, EB kind of caught in an awkward position, and they lose him because of it.
And I could almost see the wheels in EB's head turning, like, do I just take this car back? Do I try to just get out? No, there's no way. The speed won't be enough. They'll shred me from this rock. And so, yeah, that was a very difficult situation for him to be in, and he fell.
And honestly, good thing that they did leave, because look at 17. As soon as that knock came through, they were instantly up on the hillside. We talked TSM maybe engaging. 17 very much like to set up these third parties as well, and they were there, ready and waiting for a fight to pop off, which I guess good thing for Petrichor and VP. Never really happened.
And I will say, for all the rotational issues we thought we would see because of this, fortunately for the teams that were outside of the circle, because of how condensed the middle got so quick, teams not wanting to have to deal with Circle 2, Circle 3 rotations, it actually left the west edge completely open for teams like Falcons, for teams like Cerberus, who actually managed to skirt all the way to the south side of the circle, and even E-Arena to come in for free.
And also, just to go off of what we were saying, we talked about how the circle was out to maneuver too. We haven't even gone into how much of the circle is actually unplayable.
What if it shifts hard east?
There's so much of this circle. This is practically a phase 2 circle in terms of the space that these players have available. A lot of that being open fields, as we talked about just before, open hills as well. So we really are looking at an initial rotation straight into a phase 2.
All I'm saying is, Lord help these teams if this hard shifts east, because there really won't be anything left to play, and we might have a 35-player alive Circle 3 at that point.
But what about a little crisp of southeast?
Okay.
Just go all the way down towards where Cerberus and watch the world burn.
Southeast.
We need a 25% playable circle. That's
in Circle 2.
In Circle 2, preferably, in Circle 2. In the meantime, Na'Vi, while not having found an E pickup, will take the next best approach to it. Fairest up high in the sky, down towards the studio, will spot one of the players from All Gamers Global, so most likely will not send his troops down in that direction, at least up for now. But as I say that, we are actually seeing Diffix and Hakatori kind of roam in that area.
Yeah, and for Ferris, he's an invaluable resource right now for the team of Na'Vi, scouting pretty much all of Studio, seeing that there is an opening on the west side, and sure enough, the rest of the team go there. As he continues to just scout, he's going to see Cerberus, he's going to see other teams as well. And this just gives Na'Vi so much information to work with.
E-Arena running the gauntlet here, trying to post up on the hillside. As I say that, I was going to say here. That's a pretty bold move, and they will, as a matter of fact. For now, they're going to be fine. They saw Valentine on the approach, but I don't think they're fully aware that they have TSM in the compound just down below them. So if a fight comes off here, they could both be in trouble. Nicholas, well aware that this push is going to come through, as he's going to try and see if he can survive this one.
He will not salute, will fight him. Why not just continue off the success that he had in the last game? That's going to be an easy kill and finish for KDF as they continue to climb that leaderboard, trying to secure their spot.
Freaks have already in Korea in particular been a team that really thrive off of momentum. So great to see them get the win here before and now thrive here too. Circle will shift towards the north, but still, as you can see, that red line out by the river on the eastern side, a lot of area practically unplayable for all, or literally I should say, unplayable for all these teams. Everyone trying to sweep in, and everyone here too coming in from the south.
Yeah, so many teams were betting on at least somewhat of a southern shift, and we were even talking about south
वाला
or east, but we didn't talk about north, did we, Toby? And the biggest issue with this circle is right above 4 a.m. The center of this circle is barren.
Yep, it's incredibly hard to play around it. Ian, yes, Fex just over the hilltop. Not able to do a whole lot with that MP5. Fex falls down. Gustav though will take him down. I love the fact that Ian didn't go for the shot when he initially saw Gustav. He was able to get one, but now they're starting to fall. T1 in trouble, as it is. They need something good happening here. But Rainy gets taken down. Zenith gets taken down. And there they go once again. T1 out in 16th place.
The problem with T1 is they have not been able to keep. I mean, right here they just get wiped in circle 2, but they haven't been able to keep more than 2 members alive past the second shift.
15, 16, 16. This is.
What is going on with this team?
Yeah, not the start that you're looking for. Falcons, in the meantime, nice timing on their part. While there are only 2 players, of course, alive, limited in what they're really able to do. They hear the shots, they see that FaZe players are taken down, and instead of going, let's pull up on this, because that probably is what they would have done had they been 4, they go, we're only 2, let's use the time that they're resting each other and getting kind of reset to send it forward.
And they will fortunately find something for themselves. I mean, this is a small enough compound where you can somewhat hold it, and so very lucky to be able to be in this position, especially after losing half their team at this point. So Falcons will hold true, and they'll stay there for as long as they possibly can. 4 a.m. as well, trying to cut off any rotations as we see Cerberus actually slip right past them.
Yeah, trying to maneuver around as well, not wanting to take these very edge fights. E-Arena is where our ice takes us. They were the team the furthest from the circle initially, did not find their E-pickup, and they have been running along the shoreline all the way west around Tago to now find themselves on the southern side of the circle. They have Na'Vi posted in front of them, and again, E-Arena, not really a team that likes to take these early game fights. They're going to dip. They like to play calculated. They saw opponents, they go, you know what, let's find a new place to go in. Very similar to what we saw in Sonic's approach yesterday, in Tianpa's approach yesterday, trying to kind of bounce around the edge of the circle until you find a hole to swoop through.
And I will say, Na'Vi just being in the position there does not surprise me at all. They realize, you know what, let's take control of this east side, or now the south side of the circle. Let's make sure that no one can rotate past this, and this way we have a clear path. At least we can move forward and not have to worry about our back, and that's exactly what they've done. They've pushed E-Arena away, and I just love the way that, as you stated before, they have their game plan and they make sure that they execute. They don't put themselves or let themselves get put on the back foot at all.
It's kind of a reverse split from what we've seen from them before. It usually a Socet that's on the back line, allowing for the troops to push forward. This time around, Stiffix being the spearhead, allowing for everyone to hold behind. It's very smart that they just effectively put a big old cork in.
Put a roadblock on the top.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, lock it down, say we don't want people to push it from behind as this third circle. Keep in mind, this one can still stay on the edge, and somewhat edge it will stay on. 4 a.m. circle dead on top of them. We'll see how they make use of it.
I'll tell you what, if FaZe can hold that southwest edge, they are going to be in one of the best positions, because then they can just start to slowly work that entire ridge line, but they are going to have to contest with E-Arena. Meanwhile, Na'Vi now getting dangerously close to 4 a.m. as TSM now rotating right past KDF as well.
Well, this looks like a field of gold, but it might end up being a field of death in just a moment, as all these teams are trying to swing on. Freaks trying to run on forward. Luna Galaxy runs over Sparking as they make their way to a compound, and Na'Vi now trying to fend off against VP, who comes in here with the E-pickup.
Is there a chance? Oh, we've seen what a Panzer can do. Is there a chance for TSM to recover that? As now, as you said, coming in with that pickup, and Lucarux finds himself on top of the roof, the opportunity to get a big knock to open this fight up. As Ibiza fell early, we saw that in the early game.
Yep, Lucarux is on the roof. Quest is looking forward as well. Snakers is able to get the re-knock onto Sparking as Beam falls down as well. Commotion everywhere as these teams are trying to maneuver further forward. We're seeing some of the as well. Not sure if all of Petrichor is opting to try and go this direction too. It's just him in the air. The rest of the team is far outside the circle.
Nades are being traded here. Lucarux will fall. Gustav as well will find heaven. That's going to be a massive fight. Luna Galaxy getting involved as well, and that is a big blue zone grenade. Fortunately, 2 members, Guman and Sloot, able to heal through it. And E-Arena, look at this, they've readjusted and come back to the south, realizing that Na'Vi is no longer there.
Exactly.
I love
it
that.
makes so much sense. They saw Na'Vi in the kill feed with Virtus Pro, might as well to try and re-engage. And well, they will reap the rewards for it in just a moment. Face in the meantime, Gustav up to 4 kills already, trying to get something going here. They're sat at 37 points, but remember, this is their final day of play. They want to get at least into the high 50s, and even that might not be
hopefully
enough.
low 60s. I mean, realistically for them, the cutoff, well, PP just in the 60s.
Yeah.
But Luna Galaxy setting up in a good spot, but just too early. The problem is there's not enough space. They kind of had to make that choice, and they tried to make a car for it, but it is not working. His phase is picking them apart.
Everyone's sweeping the edges, trying to maneuver their way on through, but there's little to nothing to play, as you say. And now Arena from the eastern side could not get into the circle. Now has the most space in the circle. My finds one. Ixlef gets out of the car and instantly takes down Lil Ghost. What a double headshot connected, but Tycon goes to say it's not only China that got the aim skills. We in Vietnam do too.
And AGG is feasting, but they have to be worried because FaZe now hears all these shots, and they are now turning their attention towards the west edge.
Yep, see here 17, trying to reset off the loss of a Little Ghost, wanting to somehow put something off of it. Petrichor as well as this fight. I mean, bounce to happen, sure, bounce continue. You have to, especially with the circle swinging in that direction.
You knew that this was going to be the shift with the observable area and that land ratio. Meanwhile, nades are coming in. Xiaowu tries to trade one. He'll go outside, but Sushu is there to hold Ming off.
Sushu able to get him down. Chui on the hand, over the top. He knows exactly where his position is. Down right on his
what a
300 damage as Sushu gets his knees blown out. Summer trying to sweep around, almost shoots at his teammate. Please don't do that. It is, of course, a hectic situation as these teams are trying to maneuver, ring around the Roshi in this compound. Xiaowu, the only player left alive for 17.
The only positive thing here is if Petrichor can get rid of Xiaowu, there is something for them to play just on that edge there in front of them, a little more east, so they just have to get rid of Xiaowu.
1v2 the possibility for a man like Xiaowu. Chui and Summer will have to play this one hand-to-hand in order to take him down, running around the side. Could have potentially lined it up as now Molly's behind him. I think he's completely lost track of what's happening with his opponents on the other side.
Even still, he's still being such a menace.
Yeah, definitely is.
Desperately looking for an angle. It's Xiaowu, but Chui and Summer are still kind of confused. That is a good nade.
He's gonna ball down on it.
Oh my goodness!
They can't see him. He's practically on top of him, and finally, Xiaowu is found. 17 falls in 15th place. We haven't even gone into that. We've only lost 2 teams through all the commotion.
2 teams, but 36 players, 35 now alive. I mean, look how many fractured teams are in the field currently as this shift has really turned its head on a lot of the rotations, specifically looking at Bet Boom now having to deal with Valentine.
Oh, nice nade by James. Nade got himself, finds Vinny. That's going to be him down. Down and out. And as you were saying, Valentine on the northwestern side, he wanted to get towards the circle, but BP team shuts him down.
No, actually, at this point, what is that cutoff going to be? It could be even lower than 60, but
definitely could be. As long as everyone keeps racking up points like this, there's a world where he tracked down the 16th place point with him. But BB team, they get a knock. They say, you know what? Sure, we could get 2 points here, but what would that cost us with the circle already closing, and we need to get into a better position.
And the problem with this rotation here, Toby, is that they're going to run head first either into Cerberus or Na'Vi, or worse, in between both teams.
If they somehow grab into blue phase 4 hurts, but not that much, they can get down towards Lyrics in the southeastern side if they care to go there, all the way around. We'll have to follow that rotation as you see here. Is looking forward. They know that they have them on the other side, and they have in fact this BB team that is trying to wrap around and soaks it. Finds Spiro.
AGG, and remember, E-Arena was initially pushed off of this rotation by Na'Vi, but again, wisely deciding to come back. They realized that Na'Vi was fighting somewhere else, and now they've taken control, but what is this shift?
Yep, from
there is literally, like we say, there's nothing to play in circles, but there is literally nothing to play in this circle.
If you like trees, you're gonna like this one because that's all the cover you're gonna get. I guess TSM, they have themselves a shack or two that they can maneuver around, but outside of that, we are truly limited in the cover that these players have available. BP team again, I mean, they're just continuously getting shifted away from. They were on the side of the circle that we were in before, but now due to the blue, they will not be able to maneuver the way back that they came from. Na'Vi has shut down that door. I don't think he's going to go up on the roof for this crate. At least that'd be pretty dicey.
But this is another situation, though, kind of mirroring the first game where 4AM was in the circle. They had a somewhat favorable position to try to deny other teams' rotations to get some points. We'll see if they can do it again. This time they still have Na'Vi, so actually very much a mirror of the first game on Miramar. Can they actually stop Na'Vi from getting ahead of them, though?
Lyrics hearing the vehicles there coming in from BP team, opts to disengage, opts to leave smart player with his teammates over on the hillside, and BP team, I mean, there's just nothing they can do. Caught in the open again, a few unlucky shifts. I love the rotations from them. They tried everything they could.
They really
did. When the game went against them, they rotated on through, but sometimes the game just does not want you to win. And this one sure was one of them, a 1-point game for all the efforts they put in to try and make this happen.
I'd be curious to see what their rotation distance actually was with how much they tried to shift.
Yeah.
As we still look now towards the south side, All Gamers versus E-Arena. This fight has slowed down quite significantly as we see Bobo finds a doozy in the distance. That's going to be a point, so 4AM getting some desperately needed points here.
And to stay on E-Arena for a while, credit to Sissy and Jacob for actually holding off All Gamers Global for a while. There were only 2 up here, while the remaining teammates in Lyrics and Tega were further towards the east. So them being able to, I guess, force All Gamers Global to not take the fight earlier. Maybe All Gamers Global didn't have the info that they were just to, but very, very nice that they're able to kind of fend off this position. Now regrouped, now all 4 up, and should they want to take this fight, they have the numbers advantage, but I like to think that Tyken counts for 2.
Tyken oftentimes counts for 3, Toby. He really does. As I say that, Tigger will eat a headshot there, so he'll have to heal. But again, E-Arena being very measured. They're slowing things down. They want to take the fight on their terms, and that's actually something they've been very good at dictating in the past.
Yep. Finds a double as Cerberus starts to feel the heat. Him as solo player left alive, and as you're saying, if Tyken counts for 2 or 3, you know what? Him as might be a squad of his own. Let's see if he can get out of here alive. As Sparky is the first one to feel the heat.
What magic? I think that nade hit the top of the. Yeah, it's a little risky here as this circle, as you see, is starting to chunk. He at least gets out on the other side of it.
There's 1 player inside the circle. The 2 solos inside the circle. That's how brutal this one is, boys. It's going to be a tricky one. We'll see if they can make it happen as him as a Stutchin and Weave in trying to get the safety. Wants to get Salolsi back up on his feet. He's just in the circle. His nade from Purdy. Is it going to hit the tractor and bounce off? Yes, it is. Salolsi confirmed, but him as still alive.
So he will survive. He was going for that res.
And just can't ignore him.
And straight denied it.
Finally,
you know something about TSM. You know they're pretty good with those nades.
Definitely. All the way up towards the check. They know the Human is set in here. Trying to stay put. Second nade comes up, but it's not going to go inside the window. Human able to stay alive. Flash now comes through. Make that a double. Make that a triple. He really wants to burn this guy's eyes out. As he's a bit more space to play from. Na'Vi taken out by 4AM as well. As we're down to 8.
I genuinely feel bad for Human. That is a rough way to go out. Multiple flashes, lots of utility, but now with that, the opportunity for Petrichor to strike, they do get Surti down just a little bit, but he's going to be able to recover at the very least.
Where's the E-Arena play on this? I think they're expecting after the compound play came through that there might be a swing towards the southern side towards them. I thought that maybe they would want to try and engage in All Gamers Global, but we did see before that field up the hillside is not push in the open, and we're not sure what their utility is.
And you've seen all the teams starting to come towards this hill because realistically it's the only form of cover in this circle. As you see TSM now with the wide split trying to control Cerberus or at least cut off a few of those heads before they get to the top of that hill to make that dog easier to fight.
Yep, James trying to help out All Gamers Global a little bit at that distance. Tiger says thanks for the knock, but I'll take the kill. Finds the double. That's Petrichor out in 8th place. It's now him again. Solo mission practically impossible, but for him as he's not going to give up.
The jump shot.
I love the effort. It's highlight worth, you know, got to do it for the highlight reels.
TSM though now are going to have to contest with 4AM now that they've dealt with Cerberus, and I mean Himas is still alive. If they completely lose track of him, that could be a disaster for either team. But they've now positioned themselves just on the other side of 4EM and have to make sure that they're not open from the angles to the southwest. That way they can just take the fight to 4EM. But then I worry about the third party. You know E-Arena is waiting for that to happen.
James falls, one of 3 snakes trying to make their way on him. We still have him as alive. He's now dead as well. As Nixie, the last of his kind, tries to make his way on through. Solo player wanting to make it into the top 4. But it demands that some of these teams are going to start fighting. And right now, they actually are, because of the way the top of this hill kind of runs down the middle of the map, they're all able to sit on each their side without having to contest one another.
For now.
Until 8 seconds from now.
We'll see what happens here. But yeah, TSM, either 4EM, E-Arena, nobody wants to fight. No one wants to be the first one, and TSM is granted that circle. What a fortunate ship for them. But they don't have a lot of cover.
They really don't. They really don't. I'm curious to see how All Gamers Global play this one. Are they going to swing down the northwestern side? Or are they going to go back up the hillside to take the fight to E-Arena? Again, we have Nixie in play. He's a phenomenal player, but concerned of his impact in the fights to come here. He might see 4AM because they have no clue. No clue whatsoever that he's still alive. If he finds 1, if he finds 2, is he going to be the enabler that allows for E-Arena to make a play? That should follow up with All Gamers Global making a play, and all of a sudden TSM can just sit back and watch everyone else go down.
And you can see them starting to pull off, if you're watching the map, just to the north side, kind of giving those teams room to fight so that they can just clean up. And now E-Arena, for all their patience, waiting for the fight to happen between the other teams, it never did.
Well, you don't have prone behind the cars. You can shoot back.
If we prone and they don't see us, they don't know where we are.
They don't see us. Maybe they think we don't exist.
Very, very, very defensive approach here for TSM, which in all fairness, I mean, there are a couple of games in there set at 23 points already. Can't fault them if it works. Might as well continue what they're doing right now. All they do is find knocked opponents. 5 kills already for the boys. What a phenomenal last game of Miramar. They want yet another one here in Takeover.
4EM already have accumulated 6 kills. They realize their position is not great. They can just get rid of this team, maybe get a few more kills. And even if they fall at that point, they've done everything they needed to. But look at this, Nature back and forth between Larix and Bobo. And look at that, Xiaopian comes behind the rock, and he'll try to clean it up with just Zizzy left.
This is ultimate chaos. Both teams taking so much casualties in this, and Nixie able to sneak in, but HSMM takes him down, spins on a dime, deals with him at 4AM, while losing 1 in this fight, stays with 10 kills.
That is completely worth it for this squad, as they also get a vehicle. Maybe they can get in, maybe they can make some sort of vehicle for it, and maybe Purdy the buddy can make it as he's desperately jumping to try to survive, but he will fall.
He wanted to make a play. He saw the nuts in the field up there, Purdy. I think he wanted to go up on the hillside, lob it on over, see if he could claim something, but not to be. And 4AM, I mean, again, this circle just over the cusp of the hill. They heal. Going down on the other side, they had no util left. There's nothing for us to do. And now, All Gamers Global in a 2v3 against TSM.
And I like the idea from Purdy as well. There's no reason to stack all 4 members behind those cars. At least spread out, try to come out. Like you said, throw some utility, get a nade knock or a nade kill of flush. But at this point now, with TSM, they have spread out. Sparking has to stay alive, though. He cannot go down.
Late game level 3 gear and a Grosser for final 3v2 in Sparking hands now. That is exactly what you want to have happen. They have the dot on their side. Sepao and Tycon limited for cover. They need to find a good knock. They want to take down Sparking effectively, as he's the solo player, to maybe set up a push on forward, but they're running low on util. Just 1 smoke left to play, and not in a distance from where their nades or their flashes will have a lot of impact.
Sparking taking a lot of damage here, and he just barely survives. 1 HP, Toby. 1 HP.
No, it's going to be short on the other side. They're expending all their util. It makes perfect sense. Does Sparking not have first aid?
Wondering if the other members of TSM have an angle on Tycon. They don't.
Does he not have a first aid? I don't think he does. He's sat at 1 HP. He has still yet to heal. Is he out of meds altogether?
He might be, and that actually makes this all onto Luke and Alo to provide him enough cover to make sure he doesn't go down. Again, just 1 HP, 3 gear doesn't matter here.
1 health, literally no util.
He has no meds, no util.
Ever. They have 1 grenade, smoke grenade launcher, and that is it. That's all for cover. The vehicle comes rolling down the middle and go, yeah, I mean, if you can get here, that's something to play around. And now Sapao trying to get the off angle on the edge of the circle. It's clear that all gamers global are going to try and spread out and play this one through. If only they knew that from 1 HP player. Tiger might have just found him at a distance. Let's see if the nade takes him down. No, it falls short again.
In fact, Sparking is going to find a shot through the smoke. He'll do a bit of damage. The vehicle almost crushes Halo as he's still desperately looking to get that shot onto the off-angled member of Sapao from AGG.
30 bullets almost. There is a lot more. But
there it is.
The headshot comes through from Sapao. Level 3 helmet, and not when you're set on 1 HP. There's not a lot you can do. Sparking. Oh, sorry, Tycon with a smoke trying to make the run for it. He's miles out in the open. Shots being fired. Lucas down 4 bullets as he finds one with 2 bullets left in the chamber.
Tycon now down to a 2v1. But a very crippled 2v1. As you said, 2 bullets.
What is this, Tycon? How do you do this? How do you get out of here alive? The burned out vehicle in front of you is going to grant you cover for at least a little while as Alo goes down to low HP. Luke now holding the angle, full HP to work with.
Nice shots.
Finds one.
No way.
Connected.
No
Luke
way.
On the backside of the rock.
There's no way he's going to do this. Look at that. Luke is less than half HP. The sprays are coming out. Are you kidding me?
What an effort from Tycon to not give up. Him and Sapao able to venture into the field with a smoke 50 meters ahead. He needed Sapao to cover as hard as he possibly could. And Sapao suppressed all day long. Not only that, but he takes out Sparking as well. What a finish, and you can see it on the face of TSM. They knew this was theirs to bring home, but Tycon said no.
I cannot believe how close that was, but more importantly, the clutch factor from Tycon is just off the charts.
Awesome, bhai, awesome.
Wow. The fact that, as you said, Sparking was on 1 HP.
What a finish. What a
No
finish.
ammo for him.
This was like a knuckle, fist fight. These guys were so battered on this side of the hill. What an end to an absolutely
guys, we are gonna go for some.
I mean, don't get me wrong, TSM got a lot of points in that game, but for Tycon to be able to clutch in that...
We will go for some break and then we will gonna come back. Okay, guys? I have added break for this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, to the SDC Arena with Barnstorm with the halftime show breakdown. Now, we finished our first set of games, or the first half of games rather. Games 1, 2, and 3 were taken by Na'Vi, 9 kills, Kwangdong Freaks with 10, and AG Global with 12.
TSM have the most kills currently today with 19, and most placement points are going to Na'Vi with 13. Just 3 games remain today, and remember, Group B, this is their last chance to get points on the board, and then it's fingers crossed for tomorrow. So, in the words of Avenger, get out of your condo, it's time to rondo.
You gotta talk to Barney, man. He can't be reinforcing these terrible things that Avenger comes up.
You cannot encourage that. Okay, well, we are on to Rondo right now, and yes, we have had a little bit of a catch switch up. It is Matchroom and Poro coming to hang out with you guys for the last 3 games. Playing path's going to be, I don't know, about mid on the eastern front, and then going to be ending down over into the west.
Indeed it will. And so remember now, we have seen Rondo yesterday. Tiamba ended up leaving with the victory yesterday. And now we just saw AGG taking a page out of the Falcons book and, you know, having a big win to go along with some pretty mediocre performances. But you know what? All that matters is you get to the grand final, man.
Yeah, and that's a big game for them. It's been a bit quiet here and there. I mean, that's kind of the thing, as you were talking about with Tycon, sometimes can happen. But, I mean, a big performance coming out. I mean, almost all of their points coming off of that last game. But we've had some really big contenders coming in today. TSM, 30 points that they've managed to pick up on the day so far. Almost a 10 points per average games. I really like what they're cooking.
Yeah, TSM looking real nice. And unfortunately, I guess all their dog tags looking real nice in Tycon's pouch right now. They got all 4 of them, but that was
that was a super low economy game though for TSM. Sparking was chilling over there with 1 HP and a dream for how long?
What's going on with Test Track over here?
We're getting some attention. We saw that yesterday, a bit of a cluster that's been happening around the outskirts of it. Circle pops right on top of it though.
Is that 3 teams? See, I see Na'Vi, but I feel like there's another yellow team underneath that that's a slightly different shade of yellow. Hey, there it is. It's 17. I knew it.
So now we've got
eyes on.
I mean, this is, you can technically hold this one down, but these guys are playing essentially an east-west format against each other. The road going to be in between them. Looks like they have managed to make this pretty peaceful, so they're just going to do some looting for right now. With the circle landing on them as well, you might be able to see a shift from both of these teams just moving opposite direction from each other, but you can see I is still drawing that direction. If we do see a knock, though, we might see a bit of encouragement in this firefight. And a shotgun in hand for Xiao Wu might also be an encouragement.
And you can just see on the split screen there, just off to the right, you've got 4 a.m. as well. So
Navi's making a push.
Navi is making a push. Well, this is kind of what I expected a little bit, just because of the fact that they are dead center circle. So they don't really have a whole lot of time to mess around here. If they think they can catch 17 slipping, now is the time to push.
Slipping with a shotgun's going to be hard to do, though. Waiting patiently, about to step around the corner. Does he have it lined up? Get some damage. It doesn't get the knock just quite yet. The numbers advantage, though, going to go with Navi, and they just run right on top of it.
Well done. Well played by Navi. And definitely, I mean, you talk about Na'Vi, this is a team that likes to play things really slow in the early game, typically like to play from the outside, but unfortunately for them, they end up right in the dead center, so they have to make a decision, and they made a decision extremely quickly, catch 17 before they're able to get themselves set up.
And it would have been a bit more complicated for them to move out in the east. Since they were playing that eastern side of it, 4 Angry Men are going to be playing just a little bit further to the east of them, so going and getting control over this territory, really forcing 17 out to the west is a good call.
Yeah, they had to make a decision. So, CFO Lilgo's getting caught out a little bit here, but 2 HP. That's 1 more HP than Sparking needed.
He's got a little HP. So looking out, we can also see that VP is maneuvering down to the south of this. Looks like they're trying to get a position in, but it's about the chase right now. 17 Gaming having to continue out. You can see cover getting to be a bit more of a scattered position for them to play from. Meanwhile, just the whole pack of Na'Vi unrelenting. They know they have the advantage, and they're just continuing to press it every step of the way. Yes, this is a pretty complicated place to play from. A lot of different terrain sections that you have to deal with, but right now it is just literal backs against the wall for 17 Gaming as they're just being forced out of this position by just brute force from Na'Vi.
Well, they got to make a decision. They got to start making things happen pretty quickly here, because you can see just off in the distance, AGG has arrived. At least 2 of them have. 4 a.m. for the meantime has kind of just hung out on that eastern side. They hear this fighting going on, but they're not kind of collecting themselves to go and push this. They're just going to stay where they're at and see if they can maybe sneak a knock.
We're down in that stage where you're just hiding in corners with shotguns. That's never a good thing, but Xiao Wu going to play this one patient, realizing he doesn't have a good pathing to deal with, so See if maybe he can listen for the footsteps, realizing they're coming through. Door's going to open. Waiting patiently. They read exactly where he's at. That was clean.
Beautiful stuff from Ferris. And that's going to be Xiaowu going down. And that is another kill picked up for the boys of Navi. Now, 17 do still have 2 left. You see Xiaobai a little ghost, and Diffix has a pretty good idea of where Xiaobai is. As you can see, a little damage come through on him. But now I think, I mean, you got to be just batting down the hatches at this point if you're 17.
This is getting a bit scarier as well, as we do have the rest of VP starting to make their rotation. And just to the south of the mini-map, they already have one member in Lucarux that's held down that position. So this is starting to become more and more problematic. With the firefighting happening inside of this one, we could see a third-party push.
5 teams now in test track.
Yep.
And if, well, not completely, because it looks like All Gamers Global, they do have a 2-2 split, but the north part of their 2-2 split is getting pushed. So we'll have to keep an eye on there as Little Ghost again. It's knocked low, but will stay alive.
Damage control now, that's all they can really do with those shots, though. That's also a signifier. Navi realizing, hey, we didn't take those, so somebody else has eyes on what's going to be going on for our prize that we're going to be after. See now VP, looks like they're moving a bit more into the west. They don't seem like they want to get involved with what's going to be happening. Rello also did some scouting along this line. Looks like he's decided to stop off. Circles right now, you can see, really just kind of maneuvering in for position. Nobody wanting to really lean into the edge of this one, though.
They hear all the battling going on, but this is a tough place to play around. It's a tough place to push confidently, anyway.
Yeah.
You don't want to risk taking knocks and losing people this early in the game. I'm actually surprised that so far it's only been 17 that's lost anybody. But now that everybody's starting to crash in, everybody's starting to head down towards test track and places in and around test track, I wouldn't be surprised if we see more knocks come through.
See Luna flooding down the hillside, going to force the 2-2 split from AG to probably regroup a bit. I think that they're not in the biggest rush to run down that hillside right now. It looked like they were maneuvering for the car, but Sir T kind of stopped off for just 1 second, maybe seeing if they can defend a bit, but those shots are going to continue to harass him out. These two feel like maybe they can hold it for long enough, and Luna doesn't want to make a crash just quite yet.
Yeah, you could see a little bit earlier, AGG was in their vehicles. They were kind of running around doing circles, expecting to maybe get the crash coming through. But LG, as you said, more than content just letting them stay there, just keeping eyes on them and continuing to do their 2-1-1 split a little bit farther north. Meanwhile, Navi has looted up a little bit more, and now they're going to refocus their attention back onto this compound where 17 is hiding.
They just know at this point. They have been just sharks all around this position, slowly maneuvering through. You can see how free that they're moving right now. This lets you know that they have a ton of information on what's going to be going on. They're not necessarily peeking around every single corner. They know where their advantage is, and they know where they're wanting to push into. So here comes a stack, getting a bit more careful as they're maneuvering in. Footsteps going to be heard by 17 Gaming.
Fast, man.
Just holding it. Shot's going to be coming out, expecting for the door, going to reveal position, going to step back now. Looks like they might move the second story. Yep, just go ahead and see if they can play along the stairwell, and that's the Panzerfaust. Could be big if they stack up.
Oh, don't do it, Navi. Don't do it. You got to be expecting it. Good flash, though. He's going to push him off a little bit. That's 2 for Xiaobai with that Panzer. You saw it coming. Now, what can they do? Can they get the last kill off of it? It looks like Navi's going to try to rebound a little bit, pull away.
This is going to be hazardous. They want some vengeance back. You can see everybody starting to crawl out for Angry Men, getting some vision on all of this. This is just going to be more problematic. Nobody's really want to make the push in. Also, Raw, we talked about them kind of maneuvering along VP just a second ago. He's going to get spotted out. Little Ghost making play around the outside. This one going for Ferris. Doesn't quite manage to get him down, but Xiaobai is going to be able to finish it out, and tides turn as 17 Gaming survive.
Oh, Navi. Navi, they thought they had him pinned. They thought pushing with 3 would do it. It worked so well before, but they just didn't anticipate the Panzerfaust, and that flipped this whole thing on its head. Not to mention the third party from 4 AM coming in at the worst possible time, catching their trailing man.
That was such a long fight, and 4 Angry Men, I mean, AG, even VP heard that going on in different sections of it, so no surprise that a lot of eyes were drawn that direction. Luna continuing their pathing around. Moving down near the other duo of AGG now, and not too close, but AGG is going to startle them, kind of push them away from that position. You can see that Falcons now lining up against T1. This is what's going on just to the south of where we're looking at with Racetrack and Neox Factory. So, I mean, T1 holding the hillside, and it looks like Falcons still just kind of on the hunt for the nest that they want to stop at.
Actually happy to see T1 holding this hillside and playing this a little bit more slowly. They've had a pretty rough go of things so far early game. They keep running into fights that they just can't seem to win, and it's not going their way. So slowing things down here a little bit, taking this time to hold the high ground, gain some information about what's going on around them. Probably might be a remedy for what's been ailing them.
BetBoom taking a quick look at them now as they're controlling down to the southwest in a 2-2 split of their own. And I wouldn't be surprised. Yep. Going to get the replay back into what's going to be going on. I mean, this was just really cleanly played from Na'Vi at the start. So much information. So they just played around it. Panzerfaust peak from Xiao Bei, though, was just so good. He managed to play around that flash. It felt like Na'Vi had all the tempo, all the control, and then it just fell apart.
One Panzerfaust, man. That's all it takes. Everybody's favorite weapon in the game, I'm sure. Well, you can see TSM getting a little bit close to T1's split there. Alpaca I have to hop in the vehicle. I'm not sure if he's going to leave. The new circle pops, and we're staying at test track.
All of what? 4 people having to maneuver into the circle right now, so pretty similar. TSM trying to get a bit more control on what's going on at the south. They're going to be lined up against T1. Falcons continuing to move around them. Might see them bump heads in just 1 second. E-Arena kind of on the outskirts of this one, but they have something they can play around. They have to be worried about BetBoom as well as Cerberus. Petrichor Road might also have a bit of vision depending on how they make some pathing.
TSM taking some fire from Falcons as they make their way west on the southern side of this new zone. BetBoom with a big split just off to the southwest as well. FaZe, meanwhile, creeping into the southern part of that Neox factory. 4 a.m. has positions, but do they have the angles? Godvi looks like he spotted out somebody. Not going to take the shots, though.
Defensive line for 4 Angry Men felt it was more leaning into that test track. They were trying to get vision on what was going on over there, and that opened up a good opportunity. FaZe just exploited it coming from the south, and now they have managed to make landfall and at least get a couple of these buildings under control. I don't know how much information they have coming into this, but this was a very good rotation for them. Oh, that's probably why they have so much information.
That'll do it. See James taking off to the wild blue yonder, and right now he's reading the fact that they are backsides, at least off to the east, pretty free and clear. Now they do have Valley Tie split off to their north, but that's north of even the Neox factory, and T1 just off to the south, but nobody really making any pushes onto their position.
We often see FaZe play this 3-1 setup with James playing a bit further out. I really like to bring the gliders into this one and really allowing him to get a bit more maneuverability, more information to work around while he's doing that anchor position. Sure, he's not necessarily an anchor like he usually is in these types of positions, but I like this. It's still a continuation. It's an evolution of what we see them do on a regular basis.
Well, it also, I mean, it's also letting him know, like, hey, we can stay in this edge of the factory. We don't have to take the risk of pushing in any further and worrying that we're going to get crashed on the backside right now. We can hold this backside and not have to be too concerned. So we'll see how long it takes, or how much longer James is flying around like a beautiful, beautiful bird, a beautiful swan.
One of the members for BetBoom did go down. E-Arena should be coming up to try to finish that one out. His best of luck should be flush in just 1 second. Yep. And that gives a very wide spread for E-Arena. They're kind of running this, just all 4 members separating down into the southwest. You can see even on the minimap, nobody else around him right now. And that kind of mirrors what we saw BetBoom doing. They were doing a 2-1-1, and E-Arena, good vision on this one, just exploits it.
Gets their second kill of the day.
Okay. Double what they had before.
Yeah, it's been a tough start so far for E-Arena, but as we saw with All Gamers Global, one good game could turn that all around. They only had 5 points before getting that big 12-kill win and finding themselves 3rd place overall on the day. Maybe, just maybe, E-Arena can pull something off here magical on Rondo.
Petrichor Road running a 2-2 split as well, as that is the theme of this map, it feels like, with all of the space to work around. So many 2-2 splits. Is they're going to be the ones contending against this BetBoom lineup, as well as E-Arena, maybe even Cerberus as well. Freaks are very comfortable up to the northwest of this one, as Cerberus is just going to be down south of them. And they've got that hillside that they're kind of working around in between both of these. So it's really a lot of just hunkering around test track to see if you can get any space to deal with. And then everybody else really now exploiting the rest of that space. It's almost more comfortable to not be around test track, as everybody had the eyes that it was going to go over here. And yes, the circle still keeps test track in, but look at this. Beneficiaries for Freaks and Petrichor World, as well as Cerberus, now not having to contend with any of the mess over there.
Yeah, and FaZe actually just going to go ahead and leave the factory altogether, as they have the time, they have the space. They will take some shots from Mr. End, but try to find somewhere maybe on the edge to play with. This would be great for FaZe if they can find a position to take advantage of anybody that will be leaving test track, but can they play it safe enough until that point comes?
Let's see, Falcons moving forward. Remember, they did lose Roth pretty early in this. They're going for a very centered position. This is where they're going to stop out at. Not a lot of eyes on them at the time, but they do have Bet Boom as well as those harassing shots coming out from Petrichor Road. TSM is just going to be to the south of them as well, so wouldn't be surprised. Yes, you're going to hear all those tires pop. I wouldn't say that they're in trouble. This is just a bit scarier, but it is center position. Math should favor them.
Yeah, they just have to wait it out. I mean, I would assume that they have the smokes, they have the cover to kind of take that risk, to take that high position right there by the rock in the middle of the circle. So, you know, you would think that they can hold on to that pretty safely.
It depends on how we see everything end with Test Track right now. Also, Bet Boom depends on their rotation, as it looks like they're getting very close to this lineup. Quandong Freak's now going to be looking over into Luna and just picking them apart. Bean's going to find one, Salute on the other one, and you can see Luna's still just trying to figure out where all of these angles are coming in from, and yeah, just a quick push out, but also Falcons are hearing this. Looks like they're trying to third party it. Human, though, just trying to shut it down as fast as humanly possible.
Oh, man. Luna Galaxy was keeping eyes on Test Track that entire time. They had AGG. They had all the information, but once that circle popped, they knew they had to try to go for somewhere more towards the center. And unfortunately for them, Quandong Freaks is absolutely ready and willing to take care of them. And now Team Falcons will turn their attention back over as they are down to 3. Roth gone again.
Trying to pick up a bit more, and looks like they've got to be a bit careful with this one. They are stretching for the time being, but yeah, that's what I was worried about. Salute's going to hit the headshot. Flood is got the rock for cover right now, but remember, Rello is pretty far back behind this one. Doesn't have a lot of covering fire that it can provide in. We also have a bit more of a dust-up happening back over in Test Track, as it does look like FaZe is going to bump into VP over there, and that's starting to pop off in the kill feed.
Yeah, FaZe not wanting to stay on the edge of Test Track, rather than going ahead and pushing directly in, but they are paying the price right now. Gustav is flushed out. Fex is knocked. Now it's just down to Jeems and Corexy. Corexy having to stop down to do a little bit of healing, but VP still have all 4 up, and they've got a good surround on this.
Okay, VP, how are you going to navigate as, we are also going to get 4 Angry Men moving into position right now. No surprise on it. Just think if maybe they can exploit, pick up some kills as free as possible off of it. HS playing on the distance on it as they are going to start getting vision. And this high ground with the road could be a beneficiary for them. I don't think that the angles are going to provide too much for them. So I do like the fact that they're kind of opting into playing the lower ground right now. Ooh, that's a circle.
Well, you thought that everybody was going to have to leave Test Track eventually. You hoped it would be a little bit sooner, but now they get to stay in there for a little bit longer. And you see Valley Tie already sending it down. They've been controlling the northeastern side of the zone so far. Now they've got this spot that Luna Galaxy was kind of playing around before they were summarily dispatched by Quandong Freaks.
Also love the awareness coming out from 4 Angry Men, realizing how T1 was kind of wanting to move into this one. They're going to take some shots, slow him down. Just to the west of T1 is going to be TSM, and that's why we're kind of seeing T1 just prodding the circle, seeing where they can find a pathing in. And 4 Angry Men doesn't have the capabilities to take shots at all of these rotations. You can see Int has managed to make it into the zone, and with the way that that curve happens in the road, it's kind of denied out the angles, and they don't want to pick out too much further than this.
Yeah, T1 definitely trying to put themselves in a position, but unfortunately for them, it looks like Bet Boom might have a little bit of an angle here. But I love what 4AM is doing, as you said, just wanting to get involved in this, but not wanting to get fully committed, and just kind of putting themselves in a good position to take advantage.
Got goals. Are the goals going to pay off? They are just sending it right now. It looks like they are just moving for the center of the circle. Nobody has gone down yet. This has been pretty free. Everybody was already caught up in third-party firefights. So all of these members managed to make it all the way through the circle. I would say about half of it, and managed to make it back into Test Track and find an open spot to deal with.
Jeez, Lyric's the only one that took damage off of that, too. And they just sent it right down the road and right into Test Track, and they get it for free. Dead center circle, too. So, and why not throw in a crate as well? Let's give them a little bit of extra treatsy.
Here's a bit more fun, too. Yeah, FaZe now maneuvering over here. They're going to bump into what's going on with E-Arena and their reposition, so this is going to open up a bit more sightlines. Oh, also we have an emergency pickup. Looks like it could be coming this direction. That's going to be Cerberus making landfall. How are they going to opt into playing this? Where are they looking at? They should spot out the vehicles down below them, realizing that they don't want to go that direction. Instead, they're going to eyes right over to VP. Remember, 4 Angry Men also over here. A not good vision for 4 Angry Men to defend against this until the very end of it, though.
Oh, boy, Cerberus, this was not a good call. I'm not sure if they had any better options available. They were pretty much 4 deep in a compound on the southwestern side this whole time and just kind of had eyes on them from E-Arena, so they had no intel about what they were pushing into here, and they just decided to send it. E-Arena got lucky, Cerberus didn't.
Eyes wide right now. Soulzy does manage to at least take down one. And the spins coming out. The distraction spins pay off.
He hit him with the washing machine. I love to see it. Put him on the spin cycle. But they end up getting him. They do lose one, so VP now down to 3. And 4AM is going to see that in the kill feed. They're going to realize what happens. And fortunately, Luca-Ruck's immediately turning his attention back over. But now Arena having to deal with FaZe somehow. Corrects. It's the day of 1 HP.
But here's the problem. T1 is moving back in behind FaZe in not making a big move just yet. EV also aware of the firefight that's going to be going on. Circle has popped. Does have FaZe inside of it. Doesn't have VP. Doesn't have T1. Doesn't have TSM. Petrichor Road all having to make moves. AGG has shifted over into the west, leaving one of their members back behind it, just eyeing what's going on. But let's not forget, 17 is still alive and going to have to make a rotation into where all of this firefight's going on.
Gets the res back up, so Correxy back on his feet. Blues on grenade, not going to find it. Tigger will be flushed out by Ibby. The rest of E-Arena, as you said, just going to go ahead and retreat on back. Meanwhile, Freaks is just kind of pushing through the entire western side of this lobby, and Falcons are going to be the one that go down.
We saw this in extenuation of the firefight that kind of started with them poking at each other. AGG providing some covering fire into this one. You can see FaZe, though, they're in the meat grinder right on the edge of the zone. Multiple teams going to be eyeing this position, and they're already weak. And Freaks just continuing to roam. Yeah, got Valley Tie in pretty good position on the circle, but not being too much of an aggressor. Therefore, it's going to be Freaks who've just been, like you were saying, walking around over there in the west. Petrichor Road getting vision on TSM. They're trying to make their rotation and do manage to get in the circle. But Petrichor Road had eyes on that position as well, and now got damage in. They're just trying to follow it up. Are they going to hop inside the vehicles? Push? What are they going for?
Well, they got to do something. They're outside of the zone right now. The instant knock will open up a little bit of a door, but Purdy immediately turning his attention back over in that direction. Pero not going to pull all the way in, just find themselves a little bit of a hillside to work with. They are down to about half HP, but you see the kill feed is lighting up, Matrim.
Bet Boom on the other side of TSM. Two different squads trying to make the approach, but now being distracted. It's going to be a quick pop-off between what's going on. Oh, yeah, TSM, dude. I don't know how you can handle this. So many angles coming out they're trying to defend from, and every single time they just try to find some cover from one of the squads, they just instantly lose it to a new angle from another one.
Yeah, they were hanging out on the south side. Unfortunately for them, they were the first ones to make the move in, and sometimes being the first one is the worst possible idea because that means everybody else that's waiting will just go ahead and try to pull the crash off. Pero has been controlling the southwest, much like Kwandong has been, or Freaks has been controlling the northwest. Now, Freaks took out Falcons, moved back to their previous position. Petrichor Road, meanwhile, takes out 3 out of 4 of TSM, sparking the only one remaining, and BetBoom going to pull off of that as well. Now, Ibby and the rest of VP having to turn their attention over towards T1.
Virtus Pro making the push in. T1 stalling out. Remember, FaZe is going to be directly in front of this. They have one of their members down. T1 had their eyes pushing this direction. Meanwhile, VP manages to exploit terrain. Positionals comes in after. T1, though, not going down without a fight. Getting good vision and good control angles to work from. Now moving up on top of this road, getting some distance away from what's going on with VP down below it.
These are the last one up here for Virtus Pro. We'd love, if nothing else, to be able to flush out those 2 kills from T1, but it looks like BetBoom is going to get an angle and steal those away, so that's points out of the pocket of VP as FaZe Clan is going to get eliminated here in the end.
T1 still just trying to hold on to that angle. EB is going to get spotted, so BetBoom going to take them down. Sparking with a ton of friends around him. They've been dancing right on top of him. Haven't spotted him just yet. You can see helmet and armor in a ton of trouble, so it's going to be very hard for him to survive.
AGG was holding on to the northern side of that test track, and they finally had to leave, and they've spread themselves out. They're taking advantage of a very beaten and bruised E-Arena, but I don't know if they are even aware of Valley Tie just off to the west. Valley Tie playing it real quiet, very split, taking up a lot of space, but they've got 3 up, and they've got Circle, and nobody really seems to be aware of them.
We've got 2 big influencing factors right now, and that is going to be BetBoom down to the south, trying to figure out how they navigate in, and then also to the north, we've got AGG. They're eyeing in this E-Arena line. That's where the harassment's coming in from the north. 17 Gaming also going to be closing in. Little Ghost already down off of it. Zhao Bei looks like he doesn't have a clean path to deal with. Surtees is going to be the north of this one, so 2 different teams got angles onto 17 Gaming. This is going to be very hard to rotate. Meanwhile, he does manage to make it past this. T1 will have vision, so no surprise that's going to be how that one ends. Firefights are going to be between really T1, E-Arena, as well as AGG, and AGG has the numbers advantage in this.
Boom.
Still repositioning, and they know the Petrichor Road is off to the west, just uphill. They know that they are at full strength, so they're trying to avoid that fight for as long as they can while Petrichor continues to flex out a little bit. Then they should be aware that Sparking is around there hiding somewhere. They just haven't been able to pick him out just yet. Right now, focusing all their attention towards Bedboom.
Just trying to buy some more placement points. That's all Sparking really wants at this time, but it is Sparking. You know he also wants a kill. That's the way he plays it. AGG, though, it feels like are getting more and more control over here. BetBoom also going to collapse in. I want to know how BetBoom is going to maneuver around. They've got Petrichor Road just over in their west, making it very difficult for them to make those last couple of meters, those last couple of steps into the zone itself. They've got a doozy playing very far over next to Racetrack. He does get spotted out. He's going to go down. That really forces BetBoom's hand more into this kind of situation.
Summer.
Petrichor Road ki zindagi.
Tiptoeing around imminent death here, Sparking staying alive, keeping TSM in this one. Got to the top. They're in the placement point range. Tycon, though, is going to find Raining. His reign of terror is going to continue.
Walking forward, the weakened T1 does spot out what's going to be moving in with him. It's going to be AGG stepping up. Tycon leading the way right now, trying to crest in, but Sparking comes alive, spots out Summer, looking down the Petrichor Road at roughly the same time. Sparking gets active on one side. This one trying to get some more damage into it. Sparking just dancing around one line, finally going to go down. TSM is eliminated, but that makes it a lot harder for Petrichor Road to deal with what's going on with BetBoom.
Man, Ming left with about 28. See, Freaks is going to lose Salute on the southern side of that road. They did finally spot out Valley Ties. Valley Ties has finally come awake, and they are getting involved here in the late game. And now, all of a sudden, just like that, we're down to our top 4.
Oh, Freaks, how are you going to hold control over the West? All of this vision is now coming back over to you. AGG needs to step out. They've got to move into Valley Tie's position. Valley Tie's been kind of weakened specifically by Freaks. As you can see, it is going to be Heaven getting another knock, and it's just going to be Latte back up against the wall, not even in the zone. He should go down pretty soon, as I think Zest even has vision on the other side of this one. Heaven's going to pick that one up as well. So Freaks, the only team in the circle right now, but there is not a lot of cover to be had. You just got to fight your way through it, and Heaven is
Bro, video ne dekhi, bhejo Telegram pe.
What, AGG, they might not have had a great mirror, but they have turned things on here on Rondo and Tego, as they have 4 up, 7 kills, continuing to climb the leaderboard. Freaks are doing the exact same. They've got everybody back on their feet. Petrichor Road down to just Ixlef and Ming on the south side of this road, and they should be able to survive a while here, because it looks like Freaks and AGG are just going to square off face to face.
Oh, and AGG manages to take down Ixlef, which could have been a small problem for Freaks. So AGG shifting over there, realizing where the threat's going to be down to the south, trying to buy some more space off of it. It's going to be Zest trying to get the harassing onto Ming, but Ming at least manages to make it over. Shot's going to come out from Ming, though. He's trying to defend his last teammate that he still has to work around. Tycon's going to run back to Rock, and now can they get the angle? Ixlef is going to go down. Salute's going to be going after Zest, and it's getting more problematic. By the second nade, it's going to be landing on top of him, and AGG, you've got to hit this shot. You've got to make this one happen. You are in some trouble, and Trouble's just continuing to rain down.
And Freaks just sitting here smiling on it as they completely, I mean, Ming just destroys AGG. And it looks like Sapal should be able to get Tycon back on his feet here. Oh, grenades just not landing where they need to for Ming. Oh, that one does. Never mind.
So now we've got Yuman right there next to Ming. The rest of the squad already in control next to the road. They know that they've got the numbers advantage. 4 members up, just going with the throwables. Gonna hit it, makes it look easy. Freaks fighting their way through every step of that circle. Gonna take control of the game, get the win.
That is absolutely huge for Freaks here. Their second victory of the day. Again, following Falcons format, man. They had a couple of games where they just got no points whatsoever, but 2 big wins, 2 big kill wins are going to shoot them right up the leaderboard.
Dude, that's the way it works, right? That's always the excuse players say, oh, I don't like that.
Well, they were playing that northwestern edge, and they were doing the edge play strat the way the edge play strat is meant to be done, right? You basically area control. You have this zone. You know that this zone is safe. You know that your back is clear. You see everything in front of you. If you have a fight that you could take advantage of, like they did with Falcons, you push it, you get it done as quickly as possible, move back.
And they were playing the barren side of the circle, right? Yeah. There was nothing over there.
Well, it was barren because they killed everybody.
Well, no, I mean, I was just saying as far as cover goes, they didn't have compounds, they didn't have anything. They had trees, they had their vehicles. They were just maneuvering around off of their firefighting capabilities. Like, look what they're working with here. Everything that was back out to the east of this, they were just playing along this road, using that for their cover and their only bit of safety, and just doing
आवाज बंद करो पक। 2 लोग स्ट्रीम देख रहे हैं गाइस, वेलकम टू द स्ट्रीम यार। 3 लोग देख रहे हैं गाइस, धमाका बजा देंगे एकदम। और चलो सब, कोई मिली 4 लाइन। यार लाइक कर दो यार स्ट्रीम यार, ऐसे थोड़ी बात बनेगी। लाइक करो स्ट्रीम। ओ भाई मर गया वहाँ स्टोर करने से। ओह लाइक कर दिए, 4 लाइक्स हो चुके हैं, क्या बात है। थैंक यू गाइस, थैंक यू वेरी मच। अच्छा तुम्हें एक मस्त कंटेंट दिखाऊं, कौन जीता। अरे अभी तो ग्रुप स्टेज चल रही है, तो ग्रुप स्टेज में ना एक्चुअली ना वो होता है कि क्वालिफाई करना होता है फाइनल्स के लिए। तो अभी KDF की टीम जीती है, कॉन्डन फ्रीक्स। अभी तुमको एक मस्त चीज दिखाता हूँ, चलो साहब देखना, मजा आएगी। इस वीडियो को देख के ना जो मजा आएगी ना, तुमको कहोगे ना भाई इसी बंदे को देखना है। कीबोर्ड रिवाइंड कहाँ, ये वाला भी नहीं, ये वाला भी नहीं, ये वाला जो रिवाइंड।
फकिंग नूब।
विवेक आप गए नहीं?
ये देखो चालू साहब, ये देखो मेरी तरफ से, ये जो देख रहे हैं जो बकचोदी है ना भाई, ये वाला देखो तुम। एक साथ फैन ना हो जाए चलो सब बकचोदी के। मैं इसलिए स्ट्रीम करता हूँ, ये बंदा पहले से स्ट्रीम करता रहा, बहुत पहले, लाइक 7-8 साल हो गए से स्ट्रीम करते हो। मैं इसको देखता था, अब देखना मैं चला के छोड़ रहा हूँ।
इशाद अर्ज किया है, ना जाने कौन चूज गया लंड उस रात जब हम थे अलोन।
वो मैंने भी है ना कम कर रखा है।
न जाने कौन चूज गया लंड उस रात जब हम थे अलोन। दूर से देखा था छक्का पर निकला टीबोन।
ये तो लग रहा था
चार्ज फॉर टू
बंदा है बकचोदी फुल। किसी ने डिसलाइक कर दिया यार, ऐसा क्यों? चलो सब कमेंट करके बताओ, है बकचोदी है फुल। कीबोर्ड नाम है इस बंदे का। आगे देखो
कार्ड
लूना की गलती है, जैसे टीबोर्ड मेरी गलती है वैसी ये वाली गलती लूना की थी।
तेरी गलती कौन सा था?
नहीं मेरी गलती तू है।
उसकी गलती तू है लवड़े, और क्या।
मैंने क्या किया भाई? हेलो सब मेरे पे बिल डालो भाई, सब मेरे पे ही बिल डालो, ठीक है भाई।
ये क्या स्लो बंदा है यार।
गाली दो ऐसी और जाके गाली दो
भाई। इसका मॉनिटर का 60 हर्ट्ज तो मेरी गलती है, ठीक है भाई।
अबे उसकी गलती तू है मादरचोद।
तो कैसे?
उसने तेरी माँ को चोदा और गलती से तू पैदा हो गया, ये बोल रहा वो।
पहले बोलने का था ना व्हाट्सएप में भोसड़ी के। तेरे को एक ही गेम आता है क्या? फ्लैश करके घुसना भोसड़ी के। एक मार तू, एक मार, मैं नाम चेंज करूंगा।
3 राउंड से यही कर रहा हूं।
Joke's over. You're dead.
पुशिंग है।
तेरी माँ की चूत वाटू, तेरी माँ की चूत वाटू।
वहां से कैसे बढ़ सकता है टीबोर्ड?
तेरी माँ की चूत।
पुशिंग है।
This was not the round. ये था।
भाई ये वेट किया।
देख रहे हो गए ये क्लिप, अपनी मम्मी पापा रिश्तेदार को सबको दिखाओ और बताओ इस देश में ये मादरचोद है कि नहीं। देख रहे हो इसको?
आगे चाचा
तेल लगाने के लिए
कहाँ घेर दिया वे?
नमस्ते बेटी।
आजा अंदर।
सच में
अंदर आजा।
चाचा सरकारी देख रहे हो?
कुल्ले में तेल मत लगवाना, कुल्ले में तेल नहीं लगवाना। आजा आजा अच्छा और कुछ तो खड़ा है मतलब क्या?
नाचो बेटी,
नाचो रे बाबा।
ओ हो, वाह रे बाबा वाह। अरे मैं क्या बोलता हूँ, नहीं चाहिए बेटी, ले पेंशन का पैसा ले, नहीं चाहिए, नहीं चाहिए, ले पूरा पैसा ले बेटी, नहीं चाहिए मुझे पैसा। हाँ ठीक हो रहा है।
1 सेकंड आएगा इसमें। लाली कबूतरी लाली कबूतरी
Moment. That was, he tried, but bless him. He put the whole team on his back and he started running away. And that's what we're going to do here as we go to a break. So right after this, it's the grassy pastures.
हाँ पता है, माफ करो बेबी। यार एक बहुत बड़ा स्कैम हो गया मेरे साथ, पता है? मेरा वो हुआ था, लिप क्या बोलते रहे उसको, लिप ड्राई होता है ना, तो मैंने लिया वो लिप बाम ऐसा कुछ होता है ना यार, मैंने गलती से लड़की लोगों का किया, अब फुल पिंक लिप्स।
यार लिप्स तो लिप्स होता है टी-बोन।
अब इसका नाम सुन ले अंकिता, चिक चिप्स, सॉरी चिक लिप्स। अरे मैं चूतिया है भाई, जब मेरे को पढ़ना था यार, चिक लिप्स तो ऑब्वियसली लड़कियों का है। कैसे देखो यार, प्लीज माफ करो, मेरी गलती नहीं है, मैंने ऐसे ही लिया था।
दीवन घोड़ी बन ऐसे। दीवन घोड़ी बन दिखाता हूँ, देख कैसे, देख दीवन ऐसे अपने दोनों हाथ आगे कर,
क्या
हाथ आगे कर, नीचे
नीचे देखा,
आगे से घोड़ी बन, ये लो मेरा स्टंट है रे।
भाई हेलो सुनो, एक बात बोलो। हाँ मेरे पास गन है, मेरे को हॉस्टेज बना लो और बाहर जाओ। क्या बोलता है? गंदे मेरे को जल्दी। अरे ये क्या कर रहे हो, ये क्या कर रहे हो, ये क्या कर रहे हो, ये कोई मजाक है? ये क्या कर रहे हो, ये क्या कर रहे हो? ये नहीं, मत करो बेटे, मैं तेरे को बचाने के लिए आया। ये क्या कर रहे हो, ये क्या कर रहे हो? अरे खोलो यार, अरे खोलो यार, अरे नहीं, अरे गेट खोलो प्लीज यार, खोल दो यार। अरे मेरा जान का परवाह नहीं है। अरे बचा लो रे, मेरा नसीब ही यही है यार। अरे माफ कर, अरे बचा लो यार।
भाई Escudo क्या कर रहा है? Escudo, what happened?
Bro, Escudo, what happened, bro? Huh?
Escudo, tell me. I'll help you, bro. I was watching the full match. and all the viewers are blaming you. I think the problem is. So
what did I do wrong?
I don't know what you did, but let's talk about you now.
Come, talk to me.
So people are saying you are doing too much of RR.
Machida. Yeah, what is RR?
Randy Rona means horror crying.
It means
Finally, we have a Randy from Macau, guys.
Arey mother chod chup re bombo seller.
We have a Randy from Macau. Yes, let's go. Killer Dragon अभी रुक जा.
अरे सब लोग चुप. Zarin बोल.
नहीं यारो.
He was playing a shot, okay? The first time he died in boiler. After
But he didn't die one time, he died 10 times.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. He started playing.
Look, I told you we have a Randy from Macau, guys. Randy from Macau.
Arey mother chod, we have a Randy from GTO.
He started the Randy runner because he's just 15. He's just 15. Hey, did your assets grow well? Till now.
Arey tu mother chod, you 5'9" mother chod, chup mother chod. I can jump.
Hey, are your assets full grown up? Hey, 15 years. Hey. So compare this. Esgudo, listen up.
Okay.
One in hand, one in bush. Macau ki Randy, mujhse khush.
नहीं होगा मेरे से.
अरे mother chod. Machida.
ब्रो तूने मेरी एक M4 भी देके आया ना ये चूतिया. मेरी M4 देके आया ना के जरिए.
Clip it, boys. Clip. और टीमोन किद्दा?
चंगा.
और तेरी मम्मी नंगा.
जिंदगी है छोटी, फाटू की मम्मी नोटी.
ये सुन. खोला मैंने टीवी, ऊपर देखा बेन 10, टीमोन का गेम प्ले देखा, निकला लौड़ा लेवल 10.
और भाई आपका आज का प्लान क्या है?
आज का प्लान कुछ नहीं. डेट है तुम्हारी मम्मी के साथ.
1 2 3 4. फाटू की मम्मी ऑन द फ्लोर. That was good.
Mom jokes are crazy.
मेरे को टीमोन आवाज आ रही है. तेरी मम्मी गाना गा रही है.
हाँ वो प्रैक्टिस कर रही है ना इंडियन आइडल.
आ रही है. रंग दे तू मोहे फाटुआ. अरे टीमोन सुनना.
बोलना.
बबले के दूध किसको पिलाया तूने अपने?
तेरी मम्मी को. बोलती बंद.
पर मैंने तो तेरी मम्मी के पिए.
Shit, bro. He just owned me, bro. Fuck.
बोलती बंद.
फाटू तेरे को पता है?
पता है.
जब भी मैं मतलब करके तेरे घर से बाहर आता हूँ ना, तेरी मम्मी एक ही चीज बोलती है बार बार.
क्या?
Your duty is not over.
That's a good one.
बोलेगा लड़.
My letter to Carol.
मेरी बीवी को दे दे. ले फाटू.
नहीं.
ले प्लीज.
नहीं.
प्लीज ले.
नहीं.
प्लीज 50 पेटीएम करूंगा. थैंक यू.
नहीं.
मेरी बात.
नहीं तो
10 लाख दूंगा.
नहीं.
मेरी बीवी तेरी.
नहीं.
और क्या चाहिए तेरे को?
मम्मी.
Spike planted.
8 bullets.
More than enough.
Difference there.
Joke's over! You're dead!
Knife card.
This is not okay. Fucking noob. Fucking noob. Noob.
Open up the sky.
अरे उसका बॉडी है मार. Knife.
वापस हो गया मेरे साथ. नाइफ किसने बोला? नाइफ किसने बोला? नहीं बोला था भाई.
अल्ट मारो. अब मारो क्या?
वो लोग आ गया मत दे.
उसका वापस ये पे कैमरा लगा. मेरे को बैकअप.
मैंने कितने बार बोला नहीं खेलना है. कजिन. कितने बार बोला नहीं खेलना है.
पता नहीं.
यार ये बच्चे लोग यार. कजिन यार. आ जाओ गाइस.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Bears? I don't. What you got going on? Oh, and you don't have near on anything to work with. That is a bad loot situation to be dealing with. See, E-Arena is also kind of in a weird position, stopping out any reinforcements coming up from Na'Vi. So now we're just trying to hold it. But Bears playing this really well for right now. Is he going to go for the flush? Is he going to try to hold it together? Looks like he's just going to go to try to hold it. Stepping in, waiting for somebody to step around that corner. Not going to find it just quite yet, but at least staying alive. Reinforcements, so as I was mentioning, not the easiest path. E-Arena kind of stopping them out, taking a couple of shots, maybe slowing them.
Keeping an eye on Hackatory. Flood, his sole job right now, it seems, is to make sure that Hackatory doesn't come over here and join his teammate and provide support. Rello, he's got the pumpy in hand. He's ready to go. He wants to be done with this.
But he's not going to be done with it just quite yet. Here come the reinforcements. You can see everybody rolling down. Even Tigger does spot out what's going on over here. It looks like he's trying to get an eye and figure out what's going to be happening. But all the reinforcements now coming in for Na'Vi means that Falcons playing this firm defended position all next to each other with low loot. They're going to be easily exploited here if they're not careful.
While this is going on, the first circle did pop, and we are going hard to the southwest.
Yep.
Staying on the mainland, but that means this fight is going to have to come to a head, and it's going to have to be finished as quickly as possible for these guys. As Tigger just wants to get involved with that M16.
Shotguns from Rello. Playing it careful. Nade's going to be coming out.
Good flashbang.
Yep, steps away from it. Now can he step back in? Numbers advantage.
So
Soset's the one that gets spotted out, and I think that we saw a window juke come out just a moment ago. Yep, he's just dancing around everywhere right now, dude.
There is the SMG working big for him, but not going to let him escape as Snakers goes down once again. But
shorts, yeah.
Resible, I believe. Hackatory back on his feet. Diffix now coming to provide some support. Flood.
7 bullets.
He's got him out in the middle of nowhere. Flood, look at him. He's so mad. I would be too. That sucks.
I mean, we just seen SMGs everywhere, and I'm loving it right now. Rello trying to step around with an AR, put in some work, but this is a super low economy fight. Not a lot of armors to be had, no helmets you can see walking around on Rello right now. That's why all these peaks just get more nerve-wracking every single step of the way. E-Arena continuing to hear this, moving into more advantageous positions to see if they can try to vulture up something, but it's going to be raw. Spots out Diffix, does manage to take him down.
And Sizzy back on that high ground, looking down in this direction. 16's abound for E-Arena. We saw one find some success as Hackatory now the last player left up for Na'Vi. We'll spot out Roth. He has no healing, no helmet, practically no vest. Is Sizzy? Almost gets Relo, but Bobo 4 a.m.
4 a.m. is up on the top side of Stalber, maneuvering down just kind of the south of this position, really getting in some good angles, and it just feels like everything is getting exploited over here. All of 4 angry men, they don't care about the circle. They're stepping into this. E-Arena is still running a 2-2 split of some type to deal with it, but Falcons in so much trouble. Even if they survive this, Hackatory has no meds, he has no ammo, he's just trying to find something. Falcons are going to be in a similar position. Look at their economy, and they're going to have to move halfway across the map.
Oh, this is so brutal for Falcons right now, but if I'm 4 a.m., you've got to push into this. You're running out of time at this point to really start collecting points, as they are in Group B. They don't play tomorrow, and they're just going to have to sit there and sweat. So right now, This is looking like a feastable platter here for 4 a.m. Meanwhile, 17 and Valley Tie getting a little bit of close to each other as Megalo's going to try to escape. Big shots, not going to find anything though.
This is back over here near the Gatka area that the desk was talking about coming into it. So Petrichor Road going to navigate through. 17 Gaming. Valley Tie is running a 3-1. So Kiss with that southern position is going to try to provide some type of reinforcements. I like this coming out from Hackatory. He realizes, no, I just have to survive. If I can make this as painful as possible for my opponents, maybe there's some type of retaliation that comes through with it. But Falcons, remember the fact that this is going to be their last 2 games. They are sitting pretty good on the leaderboard right now, but every single point that they can pick up is going to make them feel more comfortable. This is not the start that they wanted to air and go.
One good thing that they've got going for them right now is that E-Arena is going to go ahead and bail out on this. Now, whoever does come out ahead in this fight, though, is going to have to worry about AGG, who apparently is doing a little bit of a casual bridge camp just off to their west. So Hackatory still no heals. He's going to have to operate with whatever 20, 15 HP he's got left. At least he's got an AR in hand.
I mean, no lean is so hard to navigate just in general whenever you're going to be trying to leave this position. But whenever you have, what, 3 different teams that are trying to hold out some type of fashion, finally, E-Arena's like, okay, there's too many people involved. They're going to leave. But that means that this is still a potential 4-team dust-up. We had it at 5 just a second ago. 4 Angry Men also look like they're finally stepping away. They're going to jump in their vehicles and retreat. But AGG just pretty firmly committed right now. They think that they can get something out of this.
I'm not sure if they are even aware of that fight that's going on specifically, but they're just trying to camp whoever's coming out of Yasnaya. So that might be just AGG knowing that 4 a.m. loots up in Yasnaya. They haven't come just yet, so they're just going to sit there and wait for them to arrive a little bit late. But we'll see what happens. Petrichor Road, meanwhile, getting a little bit close to TSM over here on the far western coast, but it looks like they should be able to bail out.
Most of our teams are going for a center position. The Falcons push finally coming out. In Hackatory, I don't know what type of ammo that he managed to find inside this building, but I think last time I saw him, he had 26 bullets to work with. He's got to make every single one of these count. But you can see, still no helmets, damaged armor stepping in. They've got to make sure that they know the angle's going to be coming out from. They do spot him, finally finish that one out. But now they have the problem of rotation ahead of them.
It's going to be a problem, too, because I'm not sure if there's any vehicles really anywhere near them. So I'll have to keep an eye on them as check in with Cerberus. They have themselves a little bit of a compound to work with, and that is good news for them as they are yet another one of our teams that really need to start producing here in these final 2 games.
17 Gaming is pretty close to the circle and is our most eastern team between them and Cerberus inside the circle right now. It's pretty wild. Everybody is just really leaning into the fact that this is going to pull away from the water. They know it's going to be happening in a bit, but trying to play the math and the numbers. So hard shifts right now could be very interesting for these squads to have to deal with.
We saw FaZe making their way across from Military Island. They're still hugging the coast and should find pretty free passage as there's nobody really down on that coastline south of the road. We still have VP way off in the distance. 4 a.m. obviously making their way down. They're going to avoid that Yasnaya bridge altogether. So AGG, they stick around for a long time, but don't find any success for it.
Yeah, they did see the rotation, I believe, because they hopped in vehicles at roughly the same time. That's going to open up a bit easier for Falcons, but the Falcons are probably going to make a move over into the west. And it's going to be very peculiar to watch how they make their rotation. VP, also one of the late rotators, they're going to be making their way out of Milton in just 1 second. They should be headed to a pretty empty edge, let's be honest. Nobody around there. I mean, there's all of Everest as a gap. Right?
Falcons find an E-pickup, so...
Oh, that's a scary E-pickup, dude. With no helmets and no armor?
I mean, it's terrifying, but at least they got something. But, hey, we talked about AG Global, how they were conducting that bridge camp earlier. They were not the only ones. KDF is hanging out around Cube just to the north side of Stalber. So this could be bad news for AGG. The campers could be getting camped.
Okay, let's see how this one all stacks up together as we're watching the replay of what happened in this very prolonged fight. I mean, all of Circle 1 was just a duel between these 2 squads. Yes, Falcons do come out with the win, but how big of a win could it be is the real question as we're going to be eyeing forward off of it. And this emergency pickup looks like they do have their eyes moving in just one moment. Also, KDF, man. KDF, what are they going to find?
And you see Zest eyeballing Everest, but they don't have any idea about Cube just yet. We'll see where Falcons decide to go. At least they did manage to find some helmets and armor, at least Snakers did anyway.
2 smokes and no other throwables, just a couple of bandies. That feels real good.
It ain't great. It really ain't great.
Zest.
All right, well, Zest, are you going to be the one that spots them? Are they going to take shots at you? No, this is bait. Nope, never mind. They are going to take shots. And Zest is going to breeze right through, but slowly, there we go. Now that is how you bridge camp.
Okay, pick up one. AGG now know that they have to go to one of the two other bridges, so we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if they thought that that was just like a tail in solo trying to regroup or something like that. I mean, it's a pretty late stage inside of it. They're still committed in. Circle is going to lean pretty centered, just a bit more to the west. Keeping an eye on Falcons as they are in the air. You can see going to be right over Petrichor Road now. See where they're going to drop in at. Faye's going to do a rotation down to the south as E-Arena does have a lot of control along this road to the west. Kind of a beneficial position for them right now, but no big rotators coming in just yet.
Falcons pull the cord right above T1. So we'll see where they end up going. So far it looks like they're safe as BB Team going to spot out Cerberus in rotation. Gets them low, but doesn't get that last round in.
Cerberus now has to reposition away from that, putting them in 4 Angry Men's sight lines potentially. Ema is just going to be running right up that hillside. Going to be able to use it, though, to deny any type of vision. You can see 4 Angry Men can't quite catch the beginning of this, but the tail end that we can see coming out with Cerberus could get caught. Shots are going to come out, reveal that. Depending on how Cerberus plays this, they might be able to get a bit more distance away, but now Cerberus gets bumped to TSM. Nothing available right now.
Well, they're working the valleys right now. They're working the good driving lanes here, avoiding most of the at least most of the full shots as they find themselves a nice little dip and valley to play in. And TSM Sparking, I believe, one of the few that has eyes on it, but Chewy actually going to have a nice angle as well.
Falcons did manage to find a compound just to the west of them. So Cerberus is a second ago. You can see them off in the distance there, and they have something to hold on to for right now, so it's actually a pretty good position. So all in all, not the best start, but at least it's far more comfortable than it was, let's say, at the 30 seconds into drop.
Well, it's definitely been a rough 11 minutes, 11 and a half minutes here on Erangel to start things off. But it's not looking like it's going to get any easier. Here's Virtus Pro is going to spot out Posa at that radio tower. He is all by himself, though. The rest of his team downhill off to the north, all the way off in the radio tower as he hangs out at the observatory. But it looks like VP, they spot him. They're just going to go ahead and pull away as we check in with KDF, making their way in on the north side. Nobody really looking in their direction just yet. Actually, no, it looks like Valley Tide spotted them out. AGG, meanwhile, still all the way out in the blue, right where the Freaks left them.
I mean, in God Compound.
Oh, they're e-pickupping now, too.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they're probably going to make the jump in. You can see a couple of the regroupings happen. This is a very strong compound for the circle for Petrichor Road to hold down. A lot of control over here in the shark fin position that you can see. I guess with the old tempo drop, whatever you want to call it. Very centered right now as well, so a lot of tension going to be coming this direction. There's a couple of different dips around the outside of it. A couple of teams can try to hold on to if we can see it continue to condense down here. But you can see they've got a buffer zone around them as AGG. They could be a catalyst team that might try to drop a bit close to them.
This is very scary moments here for AGG as they come in with the circle now. They should be...
See, I want to point this out there while we can see this. Look at how much field is in the circle. So that's why we're seeing everybody playing that centered area. We've got the Gatka fields. We've got that area just south of Hospital. And so that's where they're opting into the emergency pickup. They want to try to jump over all of this and find a way to kind of sneak their way in. The problem is everything outside of these field areas is where the other 52 people are going to be at. Well, 53, sorry.
You see shots coming from Luna Galaxy. Nothing landing, though. I mean, the other thing you have to consider when you take the e-pickup is that they're not going to have a vehicle, right? Yep. So you would think that maybe dropping more towards the edge would be safe. But now they see that circle pop, and immediately they pull off.
Well, two of them do. Tycon going to be coming in the tail end of it as they are going to have T1 rotating down below them. And so, yes, Petrichor Road going to be down to the south of it. Looks like they're just going to eye for this hillside. This hillside can be supported without anything. You can kind of push around it, so it's a good call. It is a bit open, but they do have a couple of teams that could try to defend. They just have to make landfall around it. It's going to be VP to the north. Petrichor Road's going to lose that vision, so they do manage to land. Tycon is going to get spotted out, and he's going to get ripped apart. So AGG trying to find some type of way to survive this one.
Yeah, Sapao gone down as well as Sir T. Now the last one remaining is T1 going to make their move right past E-Arena's Tigger, who's the only one inside the zone right now for his squad. The rest of the boys still off to the west on the coastline. So Tigger holding down this high priority compound by himself, and it looks like it's working.
I mean, E-Arena has been very, very greedy in these circles to the north. They've tried to hold down so much of it. They've been running a full 4-man split everywhere. Finally, looks like they're trying to regroup. T1 just trying to find somewhere that they can navigate through. Looks like they're just going to opt into going for a very strong, I guess, it's right over there next to the tower position, so you can get some of these hillsides in play and kind of look around, get what's going on. But they do have Heaven that's just going to be on the, just, I'd say about 50 or so meters to their east.
Ooh, almost gets them too. See now as a Kraken and Luna Galaxy squaring off with VP. The first knock and flush comes through, although Vinny is down as well. Now Quizzy's going to go down as Luca Rux and Ibby, the last two remaining alive.
Got a couple of friends wanting to hang around the outside of this one too. As you can see, 17 might be able to throw some exertion into it, making their rotation. They'll be rolling right next to the standing line that is E-Arena, so a couple of shots going to discourage one way. It's just kind of a gauntlet to see if they can catch anybody right now, but most of the gauntlet defenders not in position. Haisaki, I want to be careful here. It is going to be Falcons taking some shots in, but this is not even in the zone. I think that Cerberus were just kind of seeing what they could get over here, maybe needing some loot. This is a peculiar layout. I don't know what they were thinking.
Well, the E-Arena split, he couldn't defend the compound by himself. This time Zizzy's going to go down. Tigger's compound, though, still in play, still defended, so that's where Jacob and Lyrics are going to end up. So FaZe do find themselves some hard cover to work with, albeit on the very edge of the zone. Falcons, meanwhile, as you said, still outside of the circle. They need to find a place to play.
So let's look out. We've got our field team.
Another. Did they just pop up? You heard the E pickup.
Oh, for server? They might just be trying to do it to see if they can get some. Okay, so let's see this one all together. T1 having to navigate a pretty dangerous zone right now. They do have the Freaks next to them. Field team's going to have some vision coming their direction, most notably from the south. It's going to be Luna Galaxy that could spot something out. Valentine is going to be playing the dips over into the east and Gatka proper. So anybody that goes for big heavy peaks over to the east, they might get spotted out. It's pretty much just the hill to the south with everybody in it. The swamp, it's got a couple of teams there, and then everybody else is starting to hunker down in a couple of those fields. So let's just go ahead and keep the field, the hill, and the swamp in play.
Dead center. All right, Luna Galaxy has that center compound. Looks like Kraken going to go ahead and join him, and it looks like Cerberus, in fact, did take that E pickup. It was not bait. Instead, it was them trying to make a push into that wide open field to see if they can maybe find a ridge line to play. Keep an eye on the kill feed to see if they get away with it. Sir-T did get the res on his fallen teammate, but unfortunately for him, BB team rather going to go and spot him out. So now Sir-T, the last player alive for his squad.
Cerberus did manage to make landfall. They've got a couple of hay bales that they're playing around right now. BB team, they have a couple of gatekeepers that they might have to contend with, as you were talking about with Sir-T. We also do have 4 Angry Men, Petrichor Road, all having to make a rotation here in just 1 second. Virtus Pro doing some harassment from their control positions that they've got right now. TSM is also going to hear that with Purdy Curdy over there, and they might make a bit of a line defense of their own along that hillside.
51 left alive here in phase 4, so it's been an active Aaron goal here as Pero getting a little bit close there with that grenade. It's 4 a.m. Trying to get involved here. They've been crowding 4 deep inside the sniper tower for quite some time, so they don't really have a whole lot of intel about what's going on around them.
Also want to point out FaZe, team we've been talking about, needs points. They are not inside the circle, and they're next to the field side, so they're about to have to make a big push of their own. Petrichor Road still having to deal with 4 Angry Men. They're going to separate out, both of them eyes to the north. Still have Sir-T that's kind of hanging out over there, but 4 Angry Men can just shift a bit more to the north, play that kind of like, I guess, dip that's in the side of the hill there. Yeah, that's where HS is going to stop off at. That's going to make it more complicated for Petrichor Road. As you can see, other members are now going to be playing the high side of the hill to see if they can manage to stop any movement coming up from Petrichor Road. Problem is, it's really easy. You can read it, so Petrichor Road knows exactly where to throw their throwables at. See if they can catch some damage, doesn't get the knockdown.
Just want to point out the fact that somehow Cerberus did manage to pull off that phase 4 E pickup, but they kept all 3 alive, and they've got a spot towards the center of the circle right now. As we see Icleb and company trying to make the push into the smokes. They do have that wild card factor of Sir-T just off to the west. It doesn't look like he's going to get involved. It doesn't look like they need him to get involved because they are just running through the 4 a.m. boys.
Valentine is taking the shots in the backside of 4 Angry Men at the absolute moment. Distracted them. Petrichor Road exploits it, runs directly into it, sitting at 4 kills right now. They have finally a section of the map that they can control inside the circle. 4 Angry Men, though, they've just got to cut up just 2 Angry Men at the time, as Falcons, you can see, do find themselves a spot inside the zone.